Amenhotep I. Here's an African here who set up the kingdom of Athens. Not only that, conquered into southern Russia, what is called Black Georgia today. I often wonder if that's why they call it Black Georgia, because of this African here in Amenhotep of the 12th dynastic period. Amenhotep I, who conquered into Europe at this particular time, and this huge colossal right here going back to the African origins of civilization. Now, Maspero, as my wife pointed out about, he's one of the top psychopathic races. Now keep in mind, the Cairo Museum, people come from all over the world to read this. But first of all, before I read this, let me show you this man right here named Maharpara. This is Maharpara right here. The 18th dynasty, giving praise to the great god Osiris, who the Greeks call Cyrus, sitting in his canopy, just like the Pope sits in his canopy, right? This is where they got the concept of the canopy from. But everything to deny you your history, this is what Maspero says about Maharpara. Let's read it right here. It says right here that Maharpara suggested that, Maspero suggested that Maharpara may have been the son of Thutmose IV and a negress. There were no negresses 3,000 years ago. At any rate, on a copy of the Book of the Dead found in a tomb and now exhibited on the wall of this room, Maharpara is depicted with his face black instead of the normal red. They were also the normal black. A detailed examination of his mummy, which showed that he died at about 20 years of age, also showed that he was negroid, but not actually a Negro. Now this is psychopathic racism at its best. So Maspero made it a point to make sure that he would plant in all people's mind, he's negroid, but not actually a Negro. What is a negroid, but not actually a Negro? That's like saying he's Caucasoid, but not actually a Caucasian. Everything to deny the African story that's told right here in the African Nile Valley. Negroid, but not actually a Negro. So I want to point this out to show you the forces that we're up against, the forces that we're fighting. As I said before, many years I've come here, and Amenhotep III that you see right here was in the front, along with all the other Middle Kingdom pharaohs. And I came a year ago and I noticed that he was missing. I didn't know where he was at. And it wasn't until I came back, after searching throughout all the museum, I find him in the back corner. In this back corner with pieces that you see are broken up. He is a major pharaoh of the 12th dynastic period, a time of high literature, a time that it was known as the second golden age of Kemet. This is a brother who took and built the pyramids in Hawara. This is the brother who made the black capstone put on top of this pyramid that you just saw. But why is he in the back corner? But you're going to see Nefret and Rahotep, those two figures. Once you see them, you'll recognize them because you see them in all the books in America. That's who they show you, who were irrelevant, who were not pharaohs, who did not build major sites and so forth, and one even questioned if they had anything to do with this. But we got to question, why is Amenhotep III all the way in the back room, in the back corner for no one to see him, where he's been systematically moved out of the way? And I'm saying that this brother built his pyramid, like I said, in the area of Hawara. He's known as building the labyrinth, which is a very elaborate structure. Many rooms were in this labyrinth. So all the things that he did, but the racism of the Western world, this is where we have Amenhotep III. But you see his nose has been knocked off. This is what we're saying. Like I said before, there's no one prototype that defines an African facial characteristic. Look among us, we have all types of facial characteristics, nose structure, and even color. This is what made us truly the people who we are, the mothers and fathers of the planet Earth. But systematically, the ones that got wide nose, thick lips, have been systematically trying to erase it from the public's eye. So now we see Amenhotep III is in the back corner with other relics, and we have to come back in the back corner. And when we get around to the other side, I'm going to show you where he once stood at. So we have to understand that there's a serious psychological, intellectual war going on. And it's a serious war is just as vicious as having our children in the classroom where the psychological war takes place, especially when that educational institution is controlled by someone who does, or other people who doesn't have the best interests of our children nor our people at heart. So come on over here, Joseph. Listen, yeah, we've been doing this. Let Joseph come over here for a minute. Here's Amenemhat III living right here today, Brother Ken Joseph. Look at Ken Joseph here and look at Amenemhat III. Go ahead, hold your head up high, brother. No, look at us. We know. All right, okay. Now you can get your shots in right now. Brother gonna charge you for that shot too. Now you can see the gene is still passing on. And we got to take Joseph down to Harara one day and see that pyramid as well. The first thing that you'll see on Egypt, many of you have seen Rahotep and Nefret. Rahotep was not a king. Nefret was not a queen. They did not hold the throne in ancient times. But it seems as though they are in all of the books in Egypt. It's the opening of the page. Now keep in mind, the African people are many, many colors. I've traveled throughout the African continent. There are many, many shades of color of African people. But the point that I want to specifically point out here is the fact that Nefret and Rahotep are the ones who stand out in all the books. So when you get the books, they have selectively gone through here and have, as we know in America, a thing called passing. So they have systematically passed certain colossal pieces and so forth and artifacts. So Rahotep and Nefret are the ones who stand out in all the books, but when I showed you Amenemhat III, who should be standing right here because he was a pharaoh on the throne, who made the world's oldest road, built a pyramid in Harara. They were not pyramid builders. So I want to point that out to show you that when you pick up a book, even when you go upstairs on your way out and you may pick up a book or just read through it, the first thing you'll see is Rahotep and Nefret. And you will not see some of the other African pharaohs that have been systematically taken out of the Cairo Museum. I remember back in 1985, he's no longer in the Cairo Museum. You see? He was there in 1985, but he's no longer here today. No, I haven't found him yet. But I'm saying how Europeans systematically design Egyptology for people when they open up books to give you the impression that this is a white civilization. So you have to understand how the corruption, how Europeans are systematically trying to guide the minds of the people by putting images and representations of people there in front of us to make us think that this is the only way they looked. And that was not the case, and that's what I'm trying to put emphasis on here.
Hi, this is a video I'm going to do about Black African Egypt and, you know, cover-ups over time, you know, like the defiling of the Sphinx. Hi, this is a video I'm going to do about Black African Egypt and, you know, cover-ups over time, you know, like the defiling of the Sphinx, you know, just like countless cutting away of like facial features and stuff like this. But this is actually from my history class, and it's funny because they're showing an image of Ramses' temple before they move it, right? And you can obviously see in this video that the nose does not have any cut lines on it to begin with, but by the time it's replaced, the nose has been turned, has cut marks on it, and it has been changed to a more of a either Middle Eastern Sephardic or you know, Southern European Romantic type of feature. That's what I have to say about this video. Even though they showed like a European looking type of mummy in one of the images, which is weird because when you look at these depictions of Ramses when they're moving the temple, it's obvious that He's got black African, like Nubian, sub-Saharan Kemetic, or I can't remember what it's called. I think it Maritan features. So that's what I'm going to show you here. I'm going to show you this footage, and this is from the History Channel, and it's being used in my history class. So if they want to argue that the footage isn't official, they're using the footage themselves. So here we go. See that? See that feature? Now watch this. Watch as we go through this series of the transfer of it being saved from them putting up a dam, like covering up countless numbers of ruins because they flooded them with a dam. But here, let's watch this. All right. Check out the features
from
too.
Annihilation. The site is Abu Simbel in Egypt's extreme south, where two colossal temples built during the reign of Ramses the Great are in danger of drowning beneath the rising waters of Lake Nasser.
Now look at these features right there. See that? And there's already been a cut right there. But like right here. But watch the features.
The new lake has formed because of the construction of the Aswan
See that?
High Dam 140 miles downstream. Now contractors from 5 nations up.
Look at that. Look at those features. All right. There's no cut on the nose right there. There's no cut at all, right? It's a purely black African looking face. All right.
Are in a race against the clock to deconstruct the temples inside and out and move them piece by massive piece to higher.
Look at that. Okay, so here we go.
Ground. First, the engineers cut the temples.
Watch the features after they move it.
And transport them to the new site, 200 feet higher and 600 feet further inland. There.
Look at that. Keep watching.
There the blocks are restacked against and within. And 2 artificial mountains of reinforced cement. After 4 years of steady labor.
Look at that nose. It's no longer Afrocentric. It's no longer black African. The structure of the face is completely changed.
And 3,200 years in existence, the temples of Abu Simbel have a new home.
Whoa. Go back there. Watch this.
There, the blocks are restacked against and within 2 artificial mountains of reinforced cement. After 4 years of steady labor and 3,200 years in existence.
It's no longer even the same. It doesn't look anything like it originally did. Look at this nose. Look at that nose. Right there. Look at that nose. It's not the same at all. It's completely different. Look at that nose. Even the cheek structures are completely changed.
Have a new home. It was a miracle. It's a sign of cooperation. It's a sign of genius, of comparing engineering of yesterday and engineering of today. The Abu Simbel temples of
Engineering of today. Engineering lies. Alright, I'm done with this video. I'm sorry, I just got a comment again. I mean, this is what they try to say that Ramses looked like. In comparison to what his face looked like on the structures before they moved them. I mean, it's completely different. It's not even the same resemblance. So, I mean, this is just, that's proof right there. This is bullshit. All right. This is for my Afrocentrics. I mean, like, this is, You know, I'm not Afrocentric, but, you know, it's obvious that that's bullshit. All right.